Two Bens is sponsored by Paul Cerami Auto Group, the cheaper dealer.
So Ben, how was your Halloween?
Pretty good, man. I had something better to give out than batteries this year.
Batteries?
What about you? How was yours?
What the heck's going on here? It was good. I actually skipped work. Didn't go in the office.
You don't get, it's not like a day off work. You don't get a holiday on Halloween.
No, I know. If the boss asks where I was, I'll just say, I was in the office, and I was dressed in a costume as the Mizzou defense. Ah! They stink.
Sad but true.
They're bad.
It's sad but true. You know what's bad for Mizzou football? When you can't make fun of Kansas football.
Yeah, I was thinking about this earlier today. Is Mizzou so bad? Could they not even beat Kansas in football? I mean, that's a great question, and we'll break it down. But Ben, looking sharp. You seem to pull off a nice little aura when you're driving a Paul Cerami vehicle. And today, you are in a 2016 Ford Flex. Oh, you got seat 7 in here.
You didn't do your flex.
No, I learned my lesson last week when I flexed in the Flex, and then everyone made fun of me on the internet.
Oh, okay. Paul Cerami, the cheaper dealer, lifetime maintenance on this Ford Flex, on new and pre-owned vehicles.
And this thing is great with fuel efficiency. I highly recommend it. A great vehicle. We're enjoying it driving around St. Louis today, talking about Mizzou being terrible, and I don't think anybody or most people covering the team thought they would be this bad. 2 wins. And one of them against Delaware State.
No, the discussion was, can this team get to a bowl game? Well, that's out the window. Now you're looking at being a two-win team that hasn't won a conference game all season for the first time since the early 70s. So that becomes the goal. Win one conference game. And really now the focus is on next season. But, we made the joke early on in the season, could Mizzou beat Kansas? Now it's starting to actually look like a legitimate, debatable question.
So Kansas, obviously annually terrible in football, except for that one year when Mizzou was also really good. Kansas has 1 win this year.
Rhode Island.
They beat Rhode Island.
Powerhouse Rhode Island.
Yeah. Who I didn't know had a team. So
I knew Lamar Odom played basketball there, and that's all right. I knew about Rhode Island.
That's right. Yeah. So anyway, they got 1 win. Mizzou has 2 wins, but one of them is against the aforementioned Delaware State, which is not in the same level as Mizzou. So, I mean, which team is better here? Like, what if they even played each other? What would happen? I mean, this is unbelievable that we're even having this discussion that a SEC team could possibly lose to Kansas.
It could actually be an interesting game, probably more interesting than like Mizzou or Arkansas or Mizzou or Tennessee is going to be. So maybe they should schedule it, or like a rematch maybe with Middle Tennessee. But we'll stick with Kansas. I think you would have to hope Mizzou could score enough points to beat Kansas. They have one of the worst scoring defenses in the country against FBS teams. They rank I'm talking bottom 100s. Like
Kansas does.
123. That said, Kansas could probably score enough to beat Mizzou. I mean, Mizzou's defense is right there, right around 100. We're talking scoring defenses against FBS opponents. So take out Rhode Island, take out Delaware State, the cupcakes that you pad the stats with, and both of those teams are bottom 100
I like
defenses.
Cupcakes.
Yeah, well, so does Mizzou. They should have scheduled some more. But the offense is really where you think Mizzou would have a chance to maybe separate that game if these two teams were to meet. So Mizzou's 74th in the country in offense against FBS teams scoring-wise. Kansas is 127th. So that would be what you hope Mizzou could score enough to beat the Jayhawks. And it's really depressing that we are even considering this seriously.
Well, here's a question for you, Ben. Can Mizzou's defense, which last year, and I know it's some of the different players, new system, obviously, with DeMonte Cross as the defensive coordinator, but Mizzou's defense, could they even stop Kansas? That's the thing I worry about. Could they stop anybody? We talked about the game against Florida a few weeks ago where they only allowed 19 points from a defensive standpoint. We're like, ooh, maybe Mizzou's turning the corner. No, that game turned out to be an aberration because they did poorly before that at LSU, and they've done poorly since. It's really been a debacle down there, and now the question is, who is going to be even running the defense? Barry Odom, the head coach, he's probably going to take over the play calls, right? Yeah,
Coach Odom is frustrated, and you can hear it every time he talks. And you have to appreciate the amount that he cares, but caring isn't gonna win you games. I think it is a good sign that he has taken more control over the defense. I don't know that it's a good sign for DeMonte Cross.
Right.
But Barry Odom, former defensive coordinator who coordinated that defense that was top 10 nationally last year, I think this team has done two things that it probably wishes it would not have. It came in and tried to install new systems on both sides of the ball immediately. Talking offense under Josh Heupel, talking defense under DeMonte Cross. And I think what they probably wish they would have done if they could turn back time was maybe blend the old and the new a little bit more gradually. I think obviously you have a system you want to play, but when you come in and try to change it automatically, sometimes you're taking players that are best for the old systems and trying to jam them into something new, and it's a bit of a square peg round hole situation, and it makes you wonder if they would do some things differently going back, because now what you're more than halfway through your season, and Barry Odom is scaling the defense back to what they did last year. So you got a team trying to forget what it has learned this season and learn what it learned what it used last year, and that's not easy either. So basically what you want to see is some sort of middle ground that uses the talent that they have the best way possible. And you got to wonder, why didn't it happen sooner? But these are some of the growing pains you're going to have with a first-year coach. Barry Odom's not going to get fired unless something horrific happens, like NCAA violations. But right now, he's got to show that he can get this thing back in the right direction and get things in place so this doesn't happen again next year.
They stink.
Well, that's a good summary. I think that's a good headline for this video.
Paul Cerami Auto Group, the cheaper dealer. Now exclusively offering lifetime maintenance with every new and pre-owned purchase.